Well then, the Wimbledon game has been called off due to torrential rain in the London area and of course around Plough Lane itself. And we've seen, certainly through media this morning, that a sinkhole has appeared down by the corner flag at Plough Lane. So it's completely unplayable. I've never seen that before. I've never seen the ground sink away like that. It looks like a kind of mini golf course. I think there's a few people being a bit sneaky on social media and tried to make it out more than it is and turned Plough Lane into a golf course using AI and stuff like that. But it is genuinely down by the corner flag where this has happened. You can see horrendous flooding around the ground, some torrential rain in the London area this morning, and the EFL have no choice but to call the game off. So when this game is going to be played, I have no idea, because Wimbledon have games coming up at the weekend and the week after. They're both scheduled to be at home, so maybe they'll be called off anyway or played somewhere else. Now, they are talking about a neutral ground for this game, because it will have to be played quick, because the next fixtures in the Carabao Cup are in October. So they're going to have to get this game played somehow. But we'll have more on that, of course, when we hear some more news on it. But what I wanted to discuss in this video is it a good thing for Newcastle United that this game has been postponed? Because if you look at it, there's two sides to the coin for this. Many people say, yep, great, no game this week, no distraction, we can fully concentrate on the Manchester City game at the weekend. But we've also, not had the chance now to play some fringe players who could have been pushing for first team action. Asula probably would have started the game. Tonali, I mean, who knows with Sandro Tonali, but he would have played some part, I would imagine, to get some more minutes in his tank, and some of the other players as well. But then again, we've got the week to prepare. Now, my worry is we've had a week to prepare for quite a few Premier League games this season, and we've been garbage. Quite frankly, in most of the games, we've been garbage. Yes, we've had good spells where we've scored goals, we've won games through wonder goals, but we can't rely on that, and eventually we ran into the wall against Fulham. All our luck ran out against Fulham. And listen, Manchester City are a wounded animal coming off the back of that Arsenal game. They will play a completely different team in the Carabao Cup tomorrow night. You're literally guaranteed that Manchester City can do that. So I'm not subscribing to this, or they've had 2 games in a week when they come to St James's Park, they'll be tired nonsense. Because we all know that Manchester City can play different teams in different competitions. So the team that we see at St James's Park at the weekend is not going to be the same team that we see in the Carabao Cup. So, yes, we've got a week to prepare, but where are the players' state of minds in all of this? I've seen many different YouTube videos from fans and journalists and things like that making very, very good points that we've all said since the Fulham game. What is the matter with these players? What sort of attitudes are they showing? Why are they underperforming so badly? We've got a numerous amount of players who just aren't turning up. And for me, we have to be worried about the midfield, because the midfield ain't turned up. Before the start of the season, we were all saying, every single one of us, that we couldn't wait to see the likes of Tonali, Joe Linton and Bruno playing in the same midfield. What a dynamic midfield that is. But we have been cut open so many times. Emile Smith-Rowe in that first half against Fulham. Loads of space, loads of time, cut through us like a knife through butter. And, did we do our homework on that? Did the manager actually look and say, he is going to be a threat, we need to make sure that we keep a number 6 in the position to help the back 4? No, it didn't happen. We were cut through. And it's a huge worry for me, because Manchester City are a completely different animal to what we've faced so far this season. And we all know that. Manchester City can carve us open in the blink of an eye, the players that they have available. So what does Eddie do in this build-up now to the game? He hasn't got the distraction of the Wimbledon Carabao Cup game now. He has to go straight in against Manchester City, so it gives him a week to prepare. But are you guys confident that that week will prepare us well because of what we've seen so far this season? It still doesn't take away what's going on with the players' attitudes, or why they've suddenly just sort of, most of them, down tools. Liam Kennedy on his video brilliantly talked about Anthony Gordon. His shoulders just completely dropped, like he wasn't wanting to be there. And that's a massive, massive worry to any Newcastle United fan. Because whatever you think about the transfer window, etc., that is all gone now. And these players who Maybe Anthony Gordon is a little bit pissed off that he was offered to Liverpool, or supposedly offered to Liverpool. Did he want to go to Liverpool? Nobody knows, because he's not going to come out and say it, is he? He's not going to come out in an interview and say, "Oh yeah, I wanted to go to Liverpool. It was me dream move," kind of thing. He's not going to come out and say that. And it's ridiculous of anybody to think that he is going to say that. But at the same time, the window's now shut. There's nothing these players can do if they do want to move. So you would expect a professional footballer to put his head down and work hard. But working hard is not what we've seen. And that's a huge worry. Now, there was a suggestion when we did the review last night. We put a poll up on the live show asking if the fans thought that maybe Eddie had lost the dressing room. Players just not subscribing to his tactics anymore. And 60% said yes, they think he's lost the dressing room. But I think that's because of the players and their body language and the fact that nothing is working. Now, that can be down to the manager as well, saying, well, hang on a minute. These players are sick and tired of trying these 4-3-3 system and whatever it is that Eddie's trying to do. And it's not working, but he's consistently hammering the players at it. And maybe the players are just taking a step back thinking, come on, man. We're trying these tactics. It doesn't suit our game. It certainly doesn't suit Alexander Isak's game. Let's try something different. Try and, mince it up a little bit. But that boils down to whether the manager is actually capable of doing that or not. And so far, you have to say, no, he's not capable of doing that. He is very focused in a 4-3-3 system, and he does not want to change that at all. Despite the fact he has now got a lot of players who are available to play a very different system. You look at the tweak he made against Fulham for that brief 10 minutes, 15-minute spell in the second half when we tweaked the system. We went, I think we played a number 10, didn't we? So that completely threw Fulham off, and Fulham were all at sea, and we dominated that first 15 minutes of the second half. But then we went back into our shell again. So there's another question you have to ask. Why are the players starting so well, but then they're disappearing back into the shell again? Is that boiling down to motivation from the manager, or is it just the players, again, fed up of certain tactics that they've kept trying and banging on since Eddie Howe's been here, and it's gone stale. Teams have worked us out, and now Eddie isn't capable of changing to a different formation. For me, it's staring everybody in the face that we need to try and change things up a little bit, and Eddie's not doing it. And that has to be a worry for everybody, is that the manager doesn't seem to want to change, and maybe the players are just fed up. Now, hey, don't get me wrong. These are players of a football club. They should be doing what the manager says, and they should be abiding by it and trying to work something out. Because they're paid by Newcastle United to play football. They should be doing everything blood and guts thunder when they pull on that black and white shirt. Don't get me wrong about that. But when you're in a stale system and you can see it's not working, you expect the manager to help by changing things up and playing to certain players' strengths. Because, for all Isak's been poor this season, he's just abandoned up front. He's just literally abandoned, and we're not playing to any of his strengths. Anthony Gordon seems to have a serious attitude problem at the minute, and the midfield just isn't working. But we've got one player in that midfield who is a general, and for me can put things right, and that is Sandro Tonali. I think everybody knows that. So, again, questions have to be asked as why he's not playing Tonali. It doesn't make any sense. You can talk about all the stuff that's gone on in the background. I don't think that affects the players necessarily, what goes on behind the scenes, but it does affect the manager. And if that affects the manager, does that then spiral down to the players themselves? And everything going on is just kind of knocking them off the beat a little bit, especially with the transfer window when, certain players signed, they were sold the dream, they were sold the promise about Newcastle United and where we wanted to be as a football club. And then we see the last couple of transfer windows have been absolute turd burgers. And it's put us in a very, very difficult situation. These players looking at it thinking, well, we've done nothing to strengthen and we're doing nothing on the training pitch to try and change things up a little bit because opposition seem to have worked us out. So having this game cancelled or postponed I'm not sure it's a good thing, because I would have liked to have seen some of the fringe players get on, but I would also have liked to have seen some of the regular starting 11 play again. Because you just know that a manager like Fergie or anything, he'd be going ballistic with these players and saying, right, yous were garbage against Fulham. You go out there against Wimbledon and you prove to me, get some goals, get some confidence back and work your asses off. Show me that you want to be part of this football team and you want to be in the starting 11. If you don't, you'll sit your ass. But has Eddie actually got the nastiness to do that? I'm not so sure he has. So we've got a full build-up now for Manchester City, and we just have to see what he does with the team this week and then go and see the game at the weekend and hopefully maybe see something different. Because if Manchester City turn up and we play the same way that we've been playing for, not just this season, it's been last season as well. These tactics haven't changed. So, Manchester City are going to turn up and we play the same way, we will get destroyed, and everybody knows that. The way the midfield's been performing, they'll carve right through us and we're in big trouble. So, me as a football fan, not just a Newcastle fan, but a football fan in general, would expect Newcastle United to maybe try something different. Because we simply have to. We can't keep playing like this. It's not good enough. But let me know what you think in the comments. I just want to do this quick video just to put it out there, because I'm not sure whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, the game being called off. Yes, a full week to prepare, but we've had that before, and it hasn't really worked. He hasn't really prepared very well, given the teams that he's put out. He's had to change it twice at half-time. Yes, he's had the bravery to change it at half-time, but that's because he's putting right his own mistakes. And I'm not bashing Eddie Howe here. I'm critical of him, yes. I want him to do well, but he's got to stop making these mistakes, and maybe he's got to start having a plan B and a C and a D, because plan A has been worked out completely now. So he's got a full week, and let's see what he does. But let me know in the comments what you think. We will be back tonight. We were going to do, obviously, a preview show of the game, but we've got a very special announcement on the channel as well tonight, and also we're going to be talking about if Eddie Howe is married to a 4-3-3 and he can't break away. I was watching the Geordie Journos video, and Liam Kennedy made the point as well. And I think it's very, very much worth talking about amongst fans as well. Is he married to the 4-3-3? So we'll be talking about that tonight. So join us at 7 p.m. if you're watching this on the Monday. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. And of course, subscribe if you're new. Free to do so. And make sure you hit the bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Monday, folks. Take care.